Hi, welcome to my Makeup Monday for Monday the 3rd of March 2025. My name's Denise McCabe and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia on the New South Wales Central Coast, so welcome. Today we're going to do a fun fold card. It's not a really hard one, it's quite easy, and it's using a suite from the annual catalogue and an online exclusive bundle. So yeah, I've combined two sort of stamps and dies and everything, and I just thought we'd do this. So let's go down to the craft desk and we can get started. Okay, so I'm calling this the Everyday Arches Trifold card. That's my name for it. So I have used the Winter Meadow Designer Series paper from the annual catalogue and Thoughtful Journey dies and Sentimental something or other stamp set from the annual catalogue as well. I think it's Sentimental, but anyway, I can't remember the exact name of it. So the Everyday Arches dies, I've used those. So that's what I've done with this one, and I've just turned this one into a Mother's Day card because I'm going to have to start getting some Mother's Day cards together for the little shop that I supply. So I thought I'd recreate what I'm calling the Everyday Arches Trifold card, but this one I've used the second and third largest arch dies, and I'm going to do it a little bit different on my next card. So that's what it's going to look like, and it stands up for display, so it's really quite nice. It can stand like this, and it's just a little bit different. I think it's quite nice, so I'll put that over there, and I will show you the suite that we are using from the annual catalogue. So it's called Take to the Sky. The stamp and die bundle is called Adventurous Sky, and the paper's called Take to the Sky. It came out obviously in the annual catalogue last May, and it's got these industrial trinkets as well. It's a really cool sweet collection to have because it's just such a great masculine set. Even if it retires, I will probably hang on to it. I really love the paper, but the stamps and dies are really great. So we're going to use that one, and we're also going to use obviously the Everyday Arches, because there's one here, Reach for the Stars, and there are also little planes on this one. So it kind of sort of, you know, you can sort of mix them together. So let's pop that down here. So I've done a lot of my die cutting and a little bit of stamping, but there's a noisy bird outside my window. Never fails that something is noisy when I do a live, it's not a live, a video. So I've done some die cutting, and I've used the paper, the Take to the Sky paper, and the dies from, let me show you the dies in this pack before we go any further. So this is the stamp set. I'll move it up. So it's really cool stamp set. It's got some lovely, it's red rubber, it's a cling set. It's got some great, it's got a Father's Day, it's got a birthday, and then it's got some pretty cool little sayings that sort of play on being up in the sky and planes and stuff. And these are the dies. So they're all the dies. So when I get a die set, if it's sort of beneficial, I do this. I stamp the stamps and cut them all out, and there's a couple of standalone dies here, but you've got 3 planes in various sizes that you can stamp and die cut. Then you've got this standalone biplane that you can just use, and that's really handy. You've got a little, I can't think of the word, to trail the happy birthday behind the plane. You've got a little, I can't think of the word, you know what I'm trying to say. Some clouds, and then these are all the sentiments. So it's a great stamp die bundle. So I shall just pop that back in here. So we've I've done my arches in basic grey, and I'm going to use smoky slate for the base of my card. This one I used Moody Mauve for both the base of the card and the arches. Now Moody Mauve is one of the 2023-2025 in colours, and it will be retiring this year. So if you want to get more cardstock, a re-inker for your ink pad, you need to do that now, because the re-inkers are the first things that sell out. Last year I think they actually sold, the in-colour re-inkers sold out before the catalogue even sort of, you know, the last chance lists went live, sort of thing. So yeah, if you're wanting any of the in colours from 2023-2025, the re-inkers for the ink pads, so you've got longevity with your ink pads, you need to get those now. So yeah, I did it the same colour as my base. This time around I'm going to use smoky slate for my base. So what you need, A4 piece of cardstock, we're going to cut it on the long side. So we've got our 21 centimetre side here. We're going to cut it at 9 centimetres. Just double checking before I cut. Yes, we need 2 of those. So 2 9 centimetres by 21 centimetres. So you've got that spare for something else. And then you're going to score it at 10.5 centimetres. Get my cutting blade out of the way. Score it at 10.5 on both pieces. Oops, I nearly cut it. Nearly used the cutting blade. Don't want to do that. Okay. So then you've got, oh, looks like I need a new blade. Goodness. Then you've got 2 pieces that are folded in half. So we'll do that. I think I replaced that blade not so long ago. Mind you, I do a lot of cutting. So, you know, what some people might only get, get a month or 2 months out of their blades, I might only get a week. So I'm going to fold this over as well and score it. Depending on how much card making you do and how much cutting of cardstock determines how long your blades last. So you've got 2 pieces here, like so. So what we're going to do is glue this piece to this piece, and then you will find you have, it'll look like that. It'll be like a trifold. So that's the first thing we're going to do. So I'm just going to get my glue. I'm going to put it on this one. And just, I don't want to butt it right up to the score line, because then it won't fold. So I'm just going to take it a little bit down, just a fraction, just shy of the score line. Okay, and then that gives you your trifold. Can you see that? So that would end up measuring nearly 32 centimeters. So if you had A4 and just sort of cut it in half, these panels are all going to be a fraction smaller, and I didn't want that, so that's why I've done it this way. So that's to start with. So then we've got our arches, and we're going to layer them all together and attach them to our panels like this. Now you can, it's up to you where you put your white arch that you're going to write on. You can put it at the end, or you can put it in the middle. In my sample card, I put it in the middle because I liked it better in the middle. I think when it stands for display, you don't see it, what someone's written. You can just sort of see the feature of the card. But that's entirely up to you. You can put it in either spot. Or if you want, you can make it all designer series paper and write on the back panel here. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to put my white one in the middle because that's where I like it. Now when you've got them sort of positioned, so I've gone bigger arches as well. You can see that I've gone the next size up arch because it's going to, you can see it's bigger. I just thought we could go bigger because it'll still fit in a normal C6 envelope. So if you bring this down, if I bring it down here and I'll measure it, it's still shy of a normal card that's 14.8 centimeters. Depending on where you put this die, if you put it up, it'll go too big and won't fit in an envelope. If you move it down a little bit, you can make it sort of like a standard card size. Here's a standard card, okay? So you can move it up. Can you sort of understand what I'm trying to say? I don't think I'm explaining it very well. You can move it up to make it like the standard size of a card. And that's what I wanted to do because, see, this one is a lot shorter. So that's why I've done this. So we might hang on to this card and bring that back in when I'm attaching my arches. So let me think. Now the first thing I want to do, so I've stamped and die cut some clouds because I thought I actually got inspiration off Pinterest from somebody. Let me just see if I can find who it was. If I can find my mouse. She made just a normal A5 card, and Nancy's Knitty Notes, who's in Australia actually. So I'm sort of copying the front of her card really, but I've turned it into the trifold. So I've got a couple of clouds stamped, and then I've got the standalone biplane cut out in copper clay. Copper clay is also another in colour that will be retiring because these ones over here are copper clay. And I've used brushed silver foil, which you can get. I double checked on the Stampin' Up website. You can get a sheet of brushed silver foil and brushed gold foil. That's in the online store for my wings and tail and this bit here and the little propeller that we're going to put on. So I'm going to move all those away. I want to do some stamping on my white piece. So before we start attaching it all together, the first thing I want to do is I want to reach for the stars out because I thought that was really good. And it kind of went. Now you can see that that's not going to fit where my paper is, like it's not going to go around that arch, but we can encourage it to. So I am going to put it on my block, and I'm going to, with photopolymer you can sort of stretch them to do whatever you want. And because I haven't stamped with this one yet, I'm going to just get my eraser and rub over the stamp so it gets off all the manufacturing oils and oils off my fingers. Okay, so can you see how by me manipulating that stamp, it's going to, I might need to manipulate it a little bit more. It's going to go round there, so I need to sort of just pull that out a little bit there and maybe a little bit there. So nope, he decided to go back in. So you just got to manipulate it, gently persuade it. It's a little bit fiddly, but if you want it to sort of work with your arch, it's worth it. See, now that's going to work perfectly with that arch. Can you see how I've done that? So before I attach my glue, I am going to bring in my embossing toolkit and my Versamark ink. Get my little embossing buddy, and I'm just going to rub over here. I've got to move this up a little bit, or move my camera down because I tend to work closer to my body and then it comes off the screen, which is not ideal. Okay, so I'll just make sure this is going to go where I want it to go. Yes, so I'm just going to ink it up with my beautiful new Versamark ink pad, which is just so splendid and clean and lovely looking. And I'm going to stamp that there. Okay, so cover that up. Now I have got my white embossing powder, my Wow white embossing powder. So I'm just going to sprinkle that over there. I might just put it in again, make sure it's got good coverage. That looks pretty good. And now, so if you love heat embossing like I do, the Embossing Additions kit is really good to have. You can see how easy it is to use, and you just scrape it all back into your little powder pot with the brush that comes with the kit. Pop your cap back on, and then pop your lid back on your powder. Now with the Embossing Additions kit you get the tray, the brush, the tweezers and the embossing buddy, and it's all for $47. So that's your heat embossing edition kit. It's the best thing if you love heat embossing. Highly recommend it. So now I'm going to bring in my heat tool and turn it on and just let it warm up. And I'm just going to heat emboss our sentiment. You can see it start to turn, it goes glossy. There we go. So it's really good the way you can manipulate the photopolymers to sort of go around the arch that you want it to go around. Does that make sense? Hope so. And then I've got my paper now. So then I can work out where I want to put my paper. I'm going to put a little bit off center because of my sentiment here. I'll put that over there. So, but I'm happy to have it off center. I don't mind that. So let's attach that. So these Everyday Arch dies have got stitching around the edge, and I really love anything with a bit of stitching. Seeing that I used to do a lot of sewing back in the day, I do love anything with stitching. It sort of looks like it's sewn. So I know that's off center, but that's to accommodate our sentiment. Okay, and I'm going to get this one. Now I'm going to attach our other little biplane piece to our other arch, and I might do any stamping or what have you, and we might put our biplane onto our panel, and our clouds, we'll work all that out before we attach it all to the card base. I love layering dies as well. I'm just having a lot of fun with these arch dies. They're really great. So this is sort of our card coming together, and I know that's off center and that might annoy some people, so if it annoys you, don't do it. that's my advice. So I just think it's quite such a good sentiment for this to go with this Adventurous Sky one. So that's how our card's going to look when it's stretched out, like so. See? Okay, but before we do anything else, I am going to, what do I do with my clouds? Oh, there they are. I am going to, what am I going to do? What did I do with my silicone mat? I put it somewhere. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. It's tucked over here. So let's just move that over. Now I haven't got any adhesive sheet on the back of this silver, so I am going to have to, I don't want to use glue, I'm going to use seal. I don't like using glue with foil because it gets onto the foil and it becomes problematic. So, oh, there's some little bits that need to be popped out. Let me just do that. You could stamp the biplane if you wanted to, but I just thought this one looked really cool. So I'm just seeing what has to have adhesive on it. So this top bit doesn't, just pretty much all down the bottom here. Okay, I just wanted to double check that, not put adhesive where we didn't need it. And using, oh, there's another piece that needed to pop out. Using your silicone mat, your glue doesn't stick to your work surface, it just sticks to whatever you're trying to adhere. Get off, you shouldn't be there. Go away. Oh. And I'm just going to make sure our adhesive is not in little holes in where it shouldn't be, because we don't want that. I'm just getting it out of anything like that. We didn't need it up the top here. Okay. I'm going to move my little biplane down and I'm going to line it up with the wheels and the back of the plane, and there we go. Now I've got a little bit of seal hanging over here, but you can just sort of pull that off. Get off my hand. Okay. And if you've got an eraser, no, what do you call this thing? We used to sell them. Adhesive remover. That's what it was called. I hope they bring them back. You can just rub that over anywhere just to get any tackiness off. Or you could also use your embossing buddy. And that removes any tackiness as well. Okay, so just trying to see how long I'm going. I don't want to go over time. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Oh, I see, it's on the back there because it's hanging down low. Let me get my embossing buddy and just do that, and that takes any stickiness off. Okay, so that is our biplane, which I will probably put over here. So I want to put it down low enough so that we don't cover up our sentiment. Where's my... I do need to put my little propeller on. I've just got to work out where am I going to put that, which way am I going to do it, so it's showing. Now I am going to use a glue dot for that, and I am going to just oh, there we go. I am going to just fold my glue dot over, just sort of fold it over, because it's too big for the circle where I want to put the propeller onto it. So just sort of make it the size you want. It is. I wonder if actually, now that I think about it, I wonder if that's got adhesive sheet on the back. It does. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. So I can use the adhesive sheet and not the glue dot. I cut that out of a little tiny little scrap. So I'm just going to put that there. And I'm going to bring in my embossing buddy again and just tap this part of the propeller so it's not sticky, because I'll probably put that up on dimensionals. So we don't want that part of the propeller sticking down when it will be up on dimensionals. Okay, so that's our plane. Now, I'm not sure if I want to use these clouds. I'm just sort of in two minds about it, because we've got clouds already. So, oh look, this little piece is just sticking to my finger and being a little pain in the neck. It's nice though, isn't it? with these other clouds. I think I will put them on because it sort of is quite nice having them. It's just a little bit more. And then I will put my plane up on dimensionals. I'm pretty sure. Here's my dimensionals. But should I put my clouds on dimensionals as well? Yes, I think I will. See, I'm making it up as I go. Okay, so there we go. This might be my husband's birthday card. Or it could be my son's. My son's birthday's in March, so it might be my son's, but I think I might make him a different card. So let's just pop that there so it's not hanging over. It'll be fine. And then my husband loves planes. Always has. Had his student's pilot license when he was, before I knew him. He probably should have been a pilot, but we won't go there because we just won't. But I think, you know, if you'd have had encouragement, he would have been a pilot. Okay, so now we can put our plane on, and because we're going to put it up on dimensionals, the wheels will be on sitting above the sky as well, but we just have to be mindful to not bump into our sentiment. My son is actually getting into golf. He's becoming an avid golfer, and a few years ago we had a golfing stamp set and paper, and I've still got some of the golfing paper left over, so I might make this card for him, but using the golf paper that I've got that's retired. That might be a good idea. So I want to just position our plane so it doesn't hit into the sentiment. There we go. Okay, so now I've got this panel that I'm going to stamp on. I don't need my dimensionals anymore, and I'm just wondering what colour I should stamp. I think copper clay, actually. I've hardly used the 2023, 2025 in colours because unless they're in the paper that I'm using, I shouldn't say this out loud, but I don't really like them. But there you go. I didn't say that. Okay, I think I will put a happy birthday, and I might put that up the top. And make sure it's on straight. That would be good. So let's do that first. And let's hope we get it straight. It looks pretty straight. So we'll put that there. If not, I'll have to cut another arch out. Oh, that's pretty good. And this one's going back the other way, so I might use that one. That looks like a nice one. I'll just take my reach for the stars off, and I will do this in copper clay as well. Oh, that's too low, you can't see. There we go. I'm sorry if my head's coming in. I try not to let that happen, but sometimes it does. So let me just pop these away. Is it going this way? Yes. So as we're getting closer to the end of the annual catalogue, be mindful of things that will be on the last chance list, and if you want them, you should get them probably before they go onto the last chance list, because once they're sold out, they're gone. So You know, we don't know what's going to carry over. So if you're wanting something from the annual catalogue, I suggest you get it. And now I don't have a host code for March. Partway through March, Stamping Up are changing the way they do benefits for customers. There's going to be no host codes anymore. I don't want to sort of say exactly how it's going to work because I haven't got my head around it properly yet. But all orders over $35 will get a product, not a discount, credit, a product credit, and then you can bank up those credits for your next order. So if your order is over $35, I think it's 10%, but don't quote me on that. You'll get like $3.50 from a $35 order, for example. You can bank that credit and keep banking them until you get to $50, and then you can buy something for $50 and you will get that for free. So there'll be more information about the way they're going to do the customer benefits and rewards system, but that starts on the, I think it's the 18th of March. So there's no host code for this month. I'm not doing a host code. Okay. Now we've got our 3 arches all ready to go, and we've got our card base that's folding like so. Now I'm going to bring in my standard card because I want this to be kind of the same size. So that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to measure it up. And I'm doing it this way because if I bring it down on my glass mat, you can't see what I'm doing. So I'm just using this card instead. So I'm bringing it up, and that looks pretty good. I don't want it sort of way up, but I do want it sort of sitting there. So I am going to turn that over and get my glue and just put it down the bottom here, so because it's going to attach to this part of the card. Okay. Just make sure. Yep. So I've got a little tiny border on the left and the right, and a bigger border down the bottom, but I don't mind that. Okay, now to get these all to line up, what I'm going to do is fold it over like so. I'm going to get this one and I'm going to line it up like this. So line my arches up like this. So once again, I'm going to turn my arch over and put glue where I want it to go. Flip it back over and let's line my arch up. So if my head comes in, I do apologize. I'm just trying to see what I'm doing. Line my arch up like so. And you can see that they're lined up. See? And when you go like this, it's all lined up. There we go. Okay, so now I've got my last one, and I'm just going to do the same. I'm going to fold my card over. Now, is that going to work? Let me just look. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's going to work. Looks like I don't have much edge, but it is working, I promise. Line my arches up. See? Put the glue down the bottom part where I want the glue to adhere to the card base. Flip it over and get the top of my arch. Once again, if my head comes in, I do apologize. No, see, I've got that a bit skew with. Let me just straighten that up a bit. Let me just make sure I've got that right. I think I've got that right. Just a little bit tricky. So that is, see, they line up when it's folded up. You can see. You could go down a die size, an arch size like I did on my first one, but I wanted the bigger arches for this one. I think the bigger arch looks better with the plain. So reach for the skies, and then they all go along like that. Now we can get rid of that card. I'm going to get some of these industrial trinkets. These aren't adhesive, so they're a little bit, you know, tricky. And they're quite heavy. You can see that they've got texture on that side, but I actually like them turned over. They look like a pop rivet. Oh, sorry, that was too high. See, you've got texture on one side. I like them this side because it looks like a pop rivet on a plane. So I am going to use that side, much to some people's horror, but that's okay. And I'm just going to put it straight onto a glue dot, press it on, and I might just pull it off like so. I might put one over here. They're very big. And let's just get another one. Put it onto a glue dot, press it on. Oops, I'm over the half hour. And I always do 3, so let's do one more. But they do look industrial. And that's what they're called, industrial trinkets. I don't know if I want another one up here. Do I? Do I want one there? I don't think so. Put one here. There we go. So, that is our Everyday Arches tri-fold card. Stand up like that. This is what it looks like from the back. So if you wanted to do all 3 panels with paper or stamping or whatever, you could put another little piece of white cardstock here to write on to the person you're giving it to. But that, I like that. I like the white panel inside. So that is Everyday Arches trifold card. Let me just grab an envelope and show you that using the bigger arches, it still fits in a normal envelope. It's a little bit thick. I don't think you'd have to have more postage. You might. I don't know. I really don't know. But that's our Everyday Arches tri-fold cards. So this is with the smaller arches and the Winter Meadow Designer Series paper, and this is with the Adventurous Sky or Take to the Sky Suite collection. There's a little blip there. Let me just get rid of that blip. Gone. So that's our card for today. I hope you like it, and I hope you like the way you can manipulate the arch, the stamp. See, that obviously goes with a much smaller arch. Maybe that one, this one here, but you can manipulate it to go with a bigger arch. So I hope you like that. You know, I won't, but I could even stamp these more modern day planes in here, but I won't because this is all biplanes and I like that. So that's our card for today. A simple fun fold card. Let me just find my mouse. There we go. So I really hope that you, oops, there we go, this way. So it goes like so and opens up. So, and you could do that with any shape. You could do that with rectangles. You could do it with ovals. I'm not sure what else you could do it with, but other shapes you could do the same sort of thing with it. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. It's a very simple fold. It's just the base that folds and then the cardstock goes on top. So it's quite easy. thank you for watching. I shall see you on Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock. I don't have to work this Wednesday, yay. And hang on, what's going on with my laptop? I can't, there we go. Yeah, so I'll see you on Wednesday afternoon for Card and a Cuppa at 3 o'clock. You never know, I might play with the arch dies again because I'm really having fun with them. So have a great start to your week. I hope it goes well, and I will see you on Wednesday. Please like and share my channel as I try to grow it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.